some of you are your talent right now. But we need it. We need it. This is a huge public interest for our country. And we need the best brains that we can bring to bear on meeting the challenges. So, in addition to consolidating within the department, single chain of command, we also have formed three important pieces of our cyber strategy that fulfills or goes toward meeting our mission. The first is the continued development of Einstein as a critical tool in protecting our federal civilian agencies. Now, as you know, the U.S. Computer Emergency Readiness Team, U.S. CERT, is where we consolidate our intrusion detection, incident analysis, and cyber response capabilities to protect these systems. In the past year, we've deployed the second phase of Einstein to 11 federal agencies. We will grow to 21 by the end of this year. And we have fully deployed Einstein 2 to the 4 management trusted Internet protocol service providers. This deployment, in fact, is ahead of schedule, and it is allowing us to better identify malicious cyber activity and improve cybersecurity support across the federal government. So now we're testing the technology for the third phase of Einstein, an intrusion prevention system, which will provide the Department of Homeland Security with the ability to automatically detect malicious activity and disable attempted intrusions before harm is done to our critical networks and systems. Let me add a critical point here. Even as we are working in developing and deploying Einstein 1, Einstein 2, now Einstein 3, we take very seriously the protection of privacy, civil rights, and civil liberties. So in the cyber area, we have established an oversight and compliance officer to work from the outset on the technologies that we are seeking to develop and to deploy. And key U.S. CERT personnel receive specific training on the protection of privacy and other civil liberties as they relate to computer network security activities. So even as we move to prevention, detection of malicious activity, prevention, preemption in a way, we want to do it in an atmosphere that respects those core privacy values as well. So that's one of the first major areas that we have undertaken activities in this past year. Second, we're developing the National Cybersecurity Incident Response Plan, NCHIRP, which is being developed in full collaboration with the private sector. The NCHIRP will allow us to mount a national response to a significant cyber incident, a response where all aspects of our society would have an important role to play, from the federal government to state and local governments to the private sector. Now, much of the government side of such a response will be coordinated out of the new National Cybersecurity and Communications Integration Center, NCIC. And we're looking forward to testing the plans that we are making with NCHIRP and NCIC this fall in September, when we will conduct the Cyberstorm 3 exercise, again, with full participation of the private sector. So that's the second area. The third area I wanted to discuss is that we have made significant progress helping to secure the automated control systems that operate elements of our critical infrastructure. Now, private industry owns and operates the vast majority of the nation's critical infrastructure and cyber networks. So therefore, we've worked very closely with the private sector to conduct vulnerability assessments on 6 commonly used control systems, components, and networks. We have then developed training manuals for workshops, for conferences, and for other venues to educate the control systems community on the risk of control system cyber attacks, as well as mitigation solutions. Now, since its inception, the Control Systems Security Program has trained 14,000 plus professionals through both classroom and web-based instruction. And we now conduct monthly cybersecurity conference calls with the primary manufacturers of these control systems. So bringing all of this together, we established the Industrial Control Systems Cyber Emergency Response Team, which is really a national resource to receive, to manage, and to respond to incidents and vulnerabilities that affect our nation's control systems. And again, the nation's control systems are important for protecting and securing the nation's infrastructure. It goes right to the heart of the mission of the Department of Homeland Security. So these are key efforts already underway at DHS. But as I've suggested, we need to do more, and we need to do it faster. So within the Department of Homeland Security, we're committed to better aligning our cybersecurity and physical infrastructure protection missions, knitting together a strong resiliency component to make the department a clearer focal point for cybersecurity within the federal government. Our goal, of course, is to be able to ensure the continuity of government and private sector services and information while protecting privacy, but also providing the ability to bounce back even more quickly should a large-scale attack, or really an attack of any size, occur. Part of it is prevention, but also resiliency around the nation. Now, it's important, I think, to pause here and say that we are not about duplicating capabilities that exist elsewhere in the government. We're past the point where stovepipes in the government make any sense whatsoever. And when I say stovepipes, what we mean is where things are in vertical corridors like this, stovepipes, but there's no horizontal connectivity. They never reach out, and they're not organized to communicate, talk, plan, strategize with each other. Within this department, by having all of these missions and strategies in one place, we are able to break down those stovepipes that existed prior to this and bringing all national capabilities to bear while we continue to organize and to build the cybersecurity aspect of the civilian side of our United States government. Last week I was testifying in the Congress before the Senate Appropriations Committee, and I described our efforts as really not being a duplication or replication for what the Department of Defense is talking about doing, because I think in some respects we are much further along. But it's really a recognition of the massive effort we need to make on the civilian and private sector side if we are truly going to exist in a secure cyber environment in this century. So we want to make sure, and part of this now will go and be, I think, discussed within the Congress, but within the administration, with the Congress, we want to ensure and make sure that the Department of Homeland Security has the legal authorities and the financial resources we will need to execute our mission successfully and to attract, maintain, and retain the top talent that we need. We're going to work with the private sector to build resiliency here, and we are going to be pushing forward, as I said, as fast as we possibly can. Let me turn to the human dimension aspect of this and get beyond kind of governmental organization and NCIC and NCHIRP and all of that, and let's talk about the people. Because beyond the technological and governmental side of cybersecurity, I can't stress enough that really a secure cyber environment is as much about people and habits and culture as it is about machines. Because even the most elegant technological solution will ultimately fail